Well, hi. Today is Friday, July 25th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Westfair, ton of fun yesterday. My day at the fair actually started very early. I got out there just after 7 because I was invited to the Friends of Westfair breakfast, where the Friends of Westfair committee were making a rather large announcement. And I could tell you about it, but you know what? I think it might be better just to let you hear it for yourself. So I ran a camera and recorded Connie Casson with Friends of Westfair Committee making some rather large announcements about what's going on with their capital campaign and the money that's being raised, what the use is going to be, all of the plans for Westfair. That is on today's show. So it's coming up very, very shortly. If you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. Custom welding, large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they get the job done on time and built to last. Go to foxcofab.com. Take a look at some of their projects, some of the signs they've made. Maybe it might inspire you and get those creative juices going. I know Rick loves the one-offs and the unique ideas, so get a hold of him, foxcofab.com. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. Fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. And AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning can handle your air conditioner if it's not keeping up with the heat. And guess what? I know it's still July, but winter will be here before you know it. So you want to get on their schedule to have your furnace inspected too. AirServeCouncilBluffs.com is their website. WaldsteinPlumbing.com is the plumbing side website. And if you're navigating the healthcare system, you know it can be challenging, frustrating, and time-consuming for you and your family. That's where My Nurse Healthcare in Council Bluffs steps in. Nurse advocates providing one-on-one guidance and support every step of the way. With a dedicated nurse by your side, you'll get the right care from the right provider at the right time. Visit mynursehealthcare.com and let them take the stress out of healthcare. Well, as I said, the Friends of Westfair breakfast was yesterday on the fairgrounds, and let's bring you Connie Casson with all the announcements of the latest updates.
Okay, it's my pleasure to talk about the next stages of the capital campaign. So we have a fairgrounds that is 50 years old. It is beloved by so many of us, and it needs some upgrades to be ready for the next 50 years. We plan on a 3-phased update to the fairgrounds, first being infrastructure, and an education and expo building. Second phase being an update to the amphitheater that's almost 30 years old. And then the third phase being the arena. So we are focused on phase 1 at this point. And for this, it is the building and infrastructure. So as you look out the garage door to the east, that's the view that you would see this new building. So power, water, security, technology upgrades are step 1, and then a 65,000 square foot building. 10,000 square feet of that is air conditioned space with classroom, conference room, concession stands, donor wall, and history wall to recognize where we've come and to be a place for people to connect. If you've ever been here on days like yesterday, we will also have ample air-conditioned restrooms, which are hard to come by, and you never knew what a difference they made until it's 90 degrees. 55,000 square feet of the space is flexible expo space, ready for year-round use. So for weeks like Fair Week, we would fit it out as the show ring and stalling, but it's also a space we could use for conferences, for rodeo, for club volleyball, for wrestling tournaments. So this barn of a space is super flexible as we have it envisioned. And part of phase 1 is to launch an endowment. So we know that the other side of construction is maintenance, and planning for capital reserves with our partners at the Community Foundation for Western Iowa is part of the plan to get started with phase 1. I want to recognize some gifts that we've received already, starting with support from the Pot County Board of Supervisors. So we've got a couple of them here and would love Susan Miller and Scott Belt and Brian Shea to get recognized. We are one of 5 counties throughout the state of Iowa that does not receive ongoing operational support from our county government. So because this is a one-time, or the first time we've done a capital campaign, we went to our partners as a community resource and we received $125,000 in taxpayer support. And the gift that accelerated the momentum was from the Iowa West Foundation. So in January of 2025, we announced a $2.5 million investment from our partners at the Iowa West Foundation. We had a great event on a yucky day down at the dressing room, but I can't say enough to appreciate the partnership and visionary leadership of Brenda Mainwaring and Matt Henkes and their team in support of organizations and communities all over our area, but this was the fuel on the fire that we wouldn't be here without. So I want to thank them for that. And with that, I'm delighted to announce the gift that changes the game. We are proud to announce a $1 million investment from the Jim and Sherry Baldonado family. So I have a statement from the family that I'm pleased to share. Jim and Sherry Baldonado have made a $1 million investment to the indoor arena at Westfair. In recognition of their generosity, it will be named the Jim and Sherry Baldonado Family Indoor Arena. This gift is deeply meaningful to them, not only as proud supporters of Westfair and the local community, but also as grandparents, cheering on their 4 grandsons, and as lifelong champions of 4-H youth. They believe in investing in places that bring families together, nurture responsibility, and help kids grow into confident leaders. It's their hope that this arena will be a space where countless memories are made and where young people can keep learning, showing, and dreaming big for years to come. Thank you, and congratulations to Westfair and to all the kids and families who will benefit from this gift. So thanks again to the Baldonados. It's the first time we get to show this rendering as well. So this is a first look at the indoor show ring and the family arena as we have it rendered so far. So this is a game changer gift, and we couldn't be more thankful. We have also received a number of other gifts that are helping us build momentum. So we've received a $250,000 investment from the Southwest Iowa Foundation. The Community Foundation for Western Iowa has contributed the largest gift they've ever given like this of $100,000. And we recently received a $75,000 commitment from Iowa State Extension and Outreach from West Pot County. So I want to recognize each of these groups for their contributions. Individuals have also started to make a contribution. So Elizabeth Collins is here. We did a tour on a pretty bright spring day that was pretty windy and cold. And thanks to Elizabeth for seeing the promise and what this place is like. Ted and Polly Hoff have also made a contribution. They're huge philanthropists in Council Bluffs and have invested here. We've had an anonymous donor that's made multiple gifts of stock. And so we have learned how to receive that and to use that and have really appreciated, and it was an early gift as well, so it accelerated what we're able to do. John and Erica Brocker have made a commitment over multiple years, as have I. So we have a few of those individual commitments. And here we also have donations from 100% of the Westfair board members and 100% of the Friends of Westfair committee members. So that's like, as I've gotten to be from a 4-H'er to a friend of Westfair to a capital F friend of Westfair, I've been amazed by the service, the creativity, the commitment of board members, and for them to to donate financially as well was just a dimension that was really powerful and demonstrates their view of the future. One of the things that I loved about understanding where we've come from is part of the stories from 1974 when this was brand new. And one of those things was the walkathon, bikeathon, horseathon that 4-Hers had, where mile by mile they raise money for this facility. And this year our 4-Hers are going to take some of the proceeds from the apple pie auction, which if you're a West Pot person, you know is about as high holidays as it gets. But 10% of proceeds from the apple pie auction are going to be donated to the capital campaign. And 100% of this year's building committee funds are also going to the capital campaign. So those decisions were made by students, made by kids, in order to recognize their commitment to the effort. So I'd love to recognize them too. So where we are right now is at 4.2 million towards a $12 million goal. And there's a lot behind us and a lot ahead of us, but there's a lot in this room who sees the possibility of the future and the call to action at this point. Happy to share some of the images that we have in building out our dream. From last year, you saw stuff like this. And now we have shots of the exterior with naming rights available, as it turns out, but and not too many Brahma steers in our show, but that's a view. There's an infinite number of ways that this education and expo building can be fitted out, but we've envisioned it as the show ring and have all the stalling in there. So here's a view of what it might look like with the show ring in the middle and stalls around. We also envision permanent seating, so having some bleachers and some above space, and then a view at the lobby, that welcome center. So this is where we envision the generations of families sitting together. This is where we envision telling the story of how we got to 1974 and where we're going from there, and the people who've made it possible on our donor wall. And here's a preliminary mock-up. So there's more visualizations to come, and I can tell you lots of stories about what we dream up. But these are just a few, and we're happy to share more as people have questions. I wanted to transition a bit to ways to give to the capital campaign. So we have several ways, starting with cash, followed by stock and gifts of grain. We do have an endowment established at the Community Foundation, so see that as a key way to contribute. Estate gifts, we've received a few, including recognition from the Dennis Nelson Memorial yesterday, and multi-year pledges. So this is the way that I was able to make a commitment, was to give a few shekels each year. We do have several naming opportunities available. This information's all in your packets. So here's some of the ways to get there, and here's the information that you can find in the folder that's in front of you. There's a couple recognition opportunities that I want to highlight. The first is barn signs or farm signs. So we envision these going out to donors, and it really being a badge of belonging for those who are able to contribute and want to in this way. The other is a little more 3D. So, bourbon, why wouldn't we? So we have built a partnership that has been really funny and really complex with Pat at Lonely Oak up the road in Erling. So they are going to do a custom run for a Westfair bourbon. And so while this is from Hy-Vee, we'll have a special hooch just for us. So the best is yet to come in a number of different ways.
My day at the fair did not end at the end of the breakfast. Well, first I got to meet and see some old friends and meet some new ones at the breakfast, and then went back out last night to take in the show with my friend Dan Olson of Sack of Lions. Had some good barbecue. There's some great vendors out there with their food trucks. The Midway's there. Great shows at the fair. And, of course, all the 4-H and FFA folks doing their the static exhibits are available now for you to take in and check with the animals. And it's West Fair, and it's all kinds of fun. So get on out. And you know what? There's no cost to get in. No, they don't charge. So stop on in and have a great time. Attention developers, engineers, and tech innovators. Mark your calendar for AIM Institute's Heartland Developers Conference. It's going on September 30th and October 1st at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs. For over 15 years, HDC has been the go-to event for Silicon Prairie developers with keynote speakers, deep dive breakout sessions, an exhibitor hall, hands-on demos, and invaluable networking opportunities. So whether you're focused on AI, cloud security, or emerging tech, you're going to learn from industry experts and connect with peers who are shaping the future. Visit hdc.aiminstitute.org to get registered. And if you're looking to elevate your wrestling game, join the Best Wrestler in Council Bluffs, where champions are forged. Founded by Olympian George Ivanoff and his father, elite coach Ivan Ivanoff. The club is built on 3 pillars: wrestling, academics, and career. Train with world-class coaches who've produced Olympians, world champions, and national title holders. Their state-of-the-art facility at the Iowa West Fieldhouse offers programs for all ages in all skill levels. So whether you're aiming for the podium or just personal growth, the Best Wrestler is your path to excellence. Visit thebestwrestler.com to learn more and start your journey today. We've made it to the end of another week. How about that? And I am excited for everything that is coming up this weekend. And then next weekend, of course, is the Spirit of Courage golf outing and gala. Yep. Yours truly is back on the list to play in the Celebrity Golf Tournament, and I'm excited about that. And also an old friend of ours, Kevin Keith, local musician, makes his home in Minden. He's going to be playing too. So I hope that we see you out there. If you're not signed up to play golf, which, by the way, you can't get in anymore. It's sold out. But you can, however, still get to the gala. So we hope that you'll join us all in supporting this wonderful cause. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great weekend.